viewers, and welcome to a bit more action on F1 2015. This time again continuing in the Ferrari at the hands of Sebastian Vettel as we get away at Monza, a circuit I enjoy, one of my few test circuits that I run. Again, just another idea to learn those new braking points and different nuances of the car. Difficult round turn one. I went down to first gear, shouldn't have done that really. It seems that you do get a lot of wheel spin there when you have all the assists off, but a great feeling of speed through the circuit. It really, it seems that some circuits run better than others as I'm working my way through the videos. So in terms of frame rate, this one runs very smoothly. Singapore seemed to run smoothly, as did Abu Dhabi, whereas Brazil perhaps not as smooth, and A1 not as smooth. So we'll wait and see till we get the final game. I've been informed the HUD issue that some of you have seen in the Abu Dhabi video has been fixed for the final game as well. And of course, I'm not certain how far along this build is. I think it's pretty close to final, apart from some odd bits and pieces. I've been asked if there's going to be a parade lap. There's not a parade lap in this version. I think it's something they probably wanted to include, but time is limited. I think the big issue this year has been, apart from building a brand new engine, I think one thing that needs to be pointed out here is this is a brand new graphics engine, a brand new game built from scratch. They're not using old assets. They may have built some assets which look like old assets, but they're not using old assets. Everything's been rebuilt to optimize and improve and build on the future. I guess if they were looking at adding new modes, and this isn't an excuse for why they haven't, the reality is that to add them will extend development time, and I think you're going to see a building process over the next few years. Perhaps that means that this F1 isn't going to be for you, but if it isn't, then you can always skip this and wait till later versions. Or if you're big into the racing, I mean, for me personally, I'm all about racing. I'm all about just driving around. There's a lot of aspects that matter to other people that don't matter to me. Having said that, the review score will reflect the overall package. You can't give it a high review score if you know that next year they're going to be bringing in features which we've enjoyed in the past. So, I mean, obviously this year we've got the improved visuals and physics and audio and AI, and the AI has been improved, but we don't really know how good the AI can be until we play it on the Legend setting. Obviously in these videos I'm playing between hard, expert and Legend. On I think a couple of races I ran Legend, but I wasn't really keeping with everybody. I was finding it difficult first because of the gear changes and everything. You're going to need to really learn how to drive the car before playing on Legend, and then we'll see how competitive it is as well. Don't forget the 2014 season is included in here as well. Other questions are co-op. Co-op is not included in this version. Someone was talking to me there and that slightly put me off, but the co-op is not included in this version. Again, that's something which I know a lot of people would like included and have enjoyed, but alas, I guess time being the issue, it wasn't included this time. Bit more about the paddock. I don't really know all the ins and outs of it, but I know they're going to show a bit more sort of behind the scenes, giving you more of a feeling of being an F1 driver this year. You can't use your own name, but you can drive as an F1 driver. And there is a new Pro Season mode, which locks you into the cockpit, as I understand it, with all assists off, and then you can have a really serious racing season. As for the online modes, obviously I've not seen any of the online yet, but Codemasters have put together a blog today with details of the online mode, everything that's going to include. It sounds like they're building quite a comprehensive system there for it, and we'll be detailing a lot of that on the website. So do check out the website later. You get a bit of wheel spin there, just touching the other car, losing traction. Damage is off on this video as well, because I noticed on the preview that I touched the front wing on another car, and yeah, the damage was off on this video, it seems. So overall, I'm enjoying the racing here. I'm not on the limit yet, because as soon as you get a bit on the limit, it's quite tricky. I mean, in many respects, driving this car was much more like 98T in both Assetto Corsa and Project Cars. The car was sliding around a lot more challenging to drive. As for what it will be like on a controller, I have no idea, but certainly from a wheel perspective, it was more challenging as I finished that race. Not happy with his result there. I wasn't happy with the result either. I thought I could do a lot better than that. Had those mistakes and lost a lot of time, so I thought, why not have a restart and then go away again. see how we get on. So I'll try to answer as many of your questions as possible. Other question that somebody said to me earlier, is there any bugs in the game? Well, the question is, you've seen the HUD bug and you've seen all the gameplay, so I would say I've seen what you've seen. So until the game is released, we really don't know what's in the game, but all the footage that I've recorded you've seen with your own eyes. You can come to your own conclusions on that. Suffice to say, so far so good. It seems to be playing quite well. We don't know what it's going to be like when thousands of people go online, but it sounds like they've got some interesting online options on the way, so you can continue playing the game while you're waiting to find a quick match, something like that. And it can some of the matchmaking options sound like they're more in depth this year, so you can find out the type of race you want to race, and they have a race system whereby you race the circuit that the actual Formula 1 calendar is racing at that time as well. So I think in terms of community, hopefully they'll support a lot of that. But obviously it's a shame that the co-op didn't make it in there. No split screen either. So lots of options which no doubt you'll see start creeping back into the games in the next couple of years as I'm working my way up behind the Williams of Massa. Oh, yesterday's race didn't go as well for Williams as it should have. They certainly had strategic options and didn't make the best of it. Trying to keep your drivers happy is one thing, but losing World Championship points is another. And unfortunately, it certainly cost them some points yesterday. Not a good result as it should have been, but certainly positive if they can get that kind of result again in the future on faster tracks such as Monza. As I'm braking quite late there, trying to get past Nico Rosberg, quite managing it. You can see how the tyres lock up. And that was one of the things I was struggling with, all down to the wheel I was using. I was struggling with the brake pedal. It was very soft and then went very hard and very quickly, and there wasn't much feeling from the actual physical pedal. So it was quite tricky under braking. I was trying to be smoother, getting on the power smoother, but there's a lot more in terms of aggression. You can get a lot more speed now if you really take more risk. You know, it's a risk reward. It certainly is. I'm trying to get past this Williams. In the way. I didn't want to back off too much there. I sort of lifted a little bit to give him some space, but was determined to try and stay as close as possible. I wasn't using DRS in this race because I didn't know which button it was on the wheel, so I was having to do all my overtaking without the use of DRS. But certainly, I think in the final game, I think the big challenge is going to be, you know, tyre preservation and saving fuel as well. And I'm really looking forward to seeing, you know, as I understand, on the hardest setting, it's a massive challenge when you've got all the assists off and you're preserving your tyres and fuel. There's going to be a lot of challenge there. So it's going to be interesting to see when I run a lot of longer simulated race, how my tyres hold on. And braking late there. Would have flat spotted them a bit there, no doubt. Now all the vibration that comes with it. And working my way around. But I've enjoyed this run. I just wanted to share it with you. Just his second run as well. And I'm going to see what other bits and pieces we've got to share in terms of gameplay. And in the coming days, I'm going to look at the PC version as well. See how that's come along. I won't be able to power it at max visual settings across the triple screens, but I should be able to at least show running it decently. Making a mistake there, and that's the end of my race. So that's it for this F1 video. Do check out some of the other F1 videos on the channel, and there'll be more from me very soon.